Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Snyder, the Tsunami Warning Coordinator at the National Tsunami Warning Center in Palmer, Alaska. I want to give you an update on the current situation. Our forecast teams are continuing to look at the wave as it's been moving around the Pacific Basin and along the Pacific coastline, and seeing some improvements in where the wave is reaching the coast and seeing water levels that seem to be going and trending down. We hope that continues, especially for your community. Again, tsunami.gov is the place to go for the latest information. We will have another update for you shortly on tsunami.gov, so make sure you check that here in just a few minutes. First of all, I want to give you a quick update on where we are. If you guys could just advance my slide for me, that would be groovy. There we go.
Technical difficulties.
That's all right. Stand by just 1 second here. There we go. We are under tsunami advisory for a large portion of the U.S. West Coast, which stretches from, and British Columbia, from northern parts of Vancouver Island all the way down the U.S. West Coast to the California-Mexico border, and for southwestern Alaska from Chignik Bay out toward Attu and Shemya. Because of that, we are still advising people to stay away from the coast and be mindful of strong and unusual currents for the duration of that tsunami advisory. We'll continue to look at the situation and see if current trends of the water levels are continuing to improve. If that's the case, then we'll have an update for your coastline as well. A tsunami advisory means stay out of the water and stay away from the shore. We do expect to see continuing strong currents and dangerous waves in and around those areas, even after a tsunami advisory has been canceled for your coastline. This could be a several-hour event to maybe a several-day event as this wave has crossed the Pacific, and we expect that we'll continue to see impacts around the rest of the Pacific as we go. Remember, a tsunami advisory means that we're looking for water levels under 3 feet, or about 0.3 to 1 meter in height there. And again, the strong currents and dangerous waves in and around those coastal waters are really the most important thing for you to remember at this point. The tsunami advisory right now for the U.S. West Coast goes from the northern tip of Vancouver Island all the way down to the California-Mexico border, and from Chignik Bay in southwestern Alaska down through southwestern Alaska and the Alaska Peninsula, and it covers the rest of the Eruption chain as well. You can see that on tsunami.gov and get the updated map as soon as we issue any new messages. I wanted to share a few pictures with you that we've seen. You've probably seen these too on social media. I want to give thanks to Jim Skinner. This is Santa Cruz in a parking lot there. Water has been inundating the parking lot. Looks like it is at the Santa Cruz Marina, perhaps, or one of them in the area. This is one of the impacts that we're seeing, and we expect to hear more of this type of information up and down the coast there. So if you have impacts or damage to report, make sure you're working through your local National Weather Service forecast office in your area or your local emergency management. Those are the people that can use that information the best and relay that back to us. So we certainly appreciate that image there. Thank you, Jim Skinner, for that picture and the video that you shared with everybody today, and certainly for us. And for one of our partners, John Higgins, the harbor master there in Ventura Harbor, you can see some of the impacts there with a boat. It looks like it's underwater. This is just one of the things that they've been working on today, trying to salvage some of the situation there in Ventura Harbor. And from our vantage point anyway, and we're not there on the ground to see all the details, but it does look like there has been some unusual currents in the area as well that don't really match up with what may be the normal picture for Ventura Harbor. So make sure you keep that in mind, and the best thing to do is just stay out of the water and away from the strong currents that could be in some of those really tight areas. Now, tsunami coastal observations. This is an update as of noon Alaska time, 1 o'clock Pacific time here. These are maximum wave heights, so the tallest wave amplitude that we've recorded with some of these water level observations, 3.3 feet there in King Cove. This is in southwestern Alaska all the way through the Aleutian chain. You can see the ranging from about half a foot to over a foot. And then as you go out toward parts of California, Port St. Louis, 4.3 feet is one of the highest amplitudes that we've seen there for California, down through Arena Cove at 3.7 feet, Crescent City 3.7 feet, Santa Monica, Santa Barbara, all over 1.5 to about 2 feet. Los Angeles to San Diego, 1.5 feet there, and about a half foot up toward Humboldt Bay from La Jolla to Humboldt Bay, under a foot or so. San Francisco, about 1.1 feet. As you get out toward Oregon, we're seeing reports of 0.2 feet. These are maximum amplitudes once again, to about 1.5 feet through Port Orford. Westport, Washington, about a half a foot to La Push, up to around 1.1 feet there Again, all these updated as of noon. The thing about tsunamis is the first wave may not be the largest, and as we go through the rest of the afternoon, there's still a possibility that we're going to see some unusual surges in localized places. But what we think is happening right now is that the trend will start to diminish, and those peak amplitudes haven't been showing up as much as they have in the last several hours. So that's really good news. What that means is, as you're paying attention to tsunami.gov, and your local weather service forecast office sharing the information with our state emergency management partners, you'll likely see some of those tsunami advisories go away. Just remember that just because we're canceling advisories for your coastline doesn't mean the danger is completely gone. Don't run back down to the coastline just yet. Remember, stay away from the water, stay out of the water. Probably jumping back on your boat, not the best idea with those strong, unusual currents continuing for several hours, especially in bays, harbors, and marinas. So keep that in mind. Just because we drop an advisory, remove the warning for your area there, that conditions aren't fully ready to go and back to normal yet. They won't be normal for a while. So once again, a tsunami advisory is still in effect for many parts of the U.S. West Coast from the California-Mexico border to the northern tip of Vancouver Island in British Columbia, as well as areas in southwestern Alaska. Focus on the strong currents and dangerous waves entering your coastal waters. That's really what I want you to remember here after watching the video with us today. And again, as always, anytime you have a tsunami alert, tsunami.gov is the place to go for your latest information. We'll continue watching the Pacific Basin with our sister center in Honolulu tonight, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center there. So thanks to them for all they do, and thanks to checking in with us, and stay tuned for more. Take care.